All right, my friends, how are you today? Aaron here bringing you some honest astrology about this new moon solar eclipse we're having in the sign of Aquarius on February 17th. So, normally, eclipses are full moons and new moons on steroids. Okay, they're extra energy, and they generally have 6 different elements in them. But this full moon we have 8, or this new moon we have 8, and I'm going to show you why. We usually have the sun, the moon, the north node, the south node, then whatever sign it's in, the opposite sign it's in. That's our 6. But this particular one, because this new moon solar eclipse is happening here in the sign of Aquarius, the node is over here in Pisces and Virgo. So although the new moon is happening in Aquarius, its shadow side being Leo, well, our north node is in Pisces, our south node is in Virgo. So this changes absolutely everything about this eclipse. And as you can see, we're at 0 degrees over here, getting ready for this beautiful conjunction. There's so much to be said about these energies. So let's get right into it. Well, an eclipse in general, again, is a new moon or a full moon. A new moon we look at as simple new beginnings. A full moon is an opposition where we see some place that normally has a shadow on it is fully illuminated by the sun. So we're able to see all the shadows. So we're able to see whatever it is, whatever our obstacle, whatever the thing in front of us is, our shadow side of ourselves, the shadow side of the situation we're dealing with, it's right there in our faces, fully illuminated. All right, so the new moon, the sun, and the moon are together in the same space, meaning there is no illumination in the shadow, which would be Leo, which is about our egos. This is about technology, information, community. These are the 3 things that are kind of, when we talk about Aquarius, we look at technology is a huge aspect, breakthroughs in technology. We have the community at large, the big net of people, not just small community, but the World Wide Web, right? The World Wide Web of people. Knowledge, community, and transformation. Community, knowledge, transformation. Pluto is in there right now dealing with transformation. Let me go back to the chart for a second. Pluto is here dealing with transformation. Mars is saying let's stay active. Nothing across the way over here in Leo. And this new moon, new beginning here in Aquarius. Now, this is particularly interesting as we were going through a huge shift. And if we look at here where the nodes are, the north node is conjunct Venus and Mercury. And we're shifting out of the age of Pisces into the age of Aquarius. And some people, their minds need attention of what that is, the great revelation. The great revelation is understanding that astrology, these ages, the precession of the equinox, is what creates the religions that we know it. Each one of these 2,160-year cycles. You know, if we're looking at a clock, this is 1 hour, 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 12 hours. Repeat it twice, 24 hours in a day. Well, the grand scheme, 2,160 years of Aries, 2,160 years of Pisces, 2,160 years of Aquarius. We have an ending of a 2,160-year cycle and the beginning of a 2,160-year cycle. So the people that are stuck in this age, the age of Pisces, the age of Christianity, are having a hard time with this new age of Aquarius and technology. We have to let go of the thinking. We have to let go of aspects of our brains, aspects of our minds, where our logic wants to say this is how things are, this is how it's always been, this is what works, and this is how we need to stay tried and true. No, we have huge breakthroughs in technology. And it's just like, you know, I love tradition, but at the same time, it doesn't matter. There's a huge elements of this astrology saying take your traditions and blow them out the window because they don't matter anymore. It's like, oh, I'm sticking to traditions no matter what, Aaron. That's why I still send carrier pigeons to my friends. It's like, no, you send an email, you send a text message, you send a WhatsApp message or Facebook Messenger or something. Like, no one's sending carrier pigeons. We're changing with technology. We're allowing ourselves to mold. We're allowing ourselves to be adjustable. We're not staying stuck. We're not a rock, right? We're mobile, independent vehicles. These are vehicles on this planet. So we have the opportunities to adapt. So the end times here, it's not the revelation of an end time that the world is going to end, that, the belief, Pisces deals with belief. The North Node is over there in Pisces. And some people believe that Jesus Christ is going to come down from the heavens. Heavens, of course, means sky, because there's no word for sky in the Bible besides heaven. So we have to understand language for looking at this full moon, or this new moon, excuse me. That he's going to come down, and a sword of light is going to come out of his chest, and he's going to spin in 360-degree and kill every non-believer. Now, that's a morbid and terrible belief to have, but some people really believe this. Some people really believe it. It's not going to happen. Never will, and that's okay. That's okay. It's good that it's not going to happen, because we all have the ability to learn. We all have the ability to adapt. And what served us when we were younger doesn't always serve us when we're older. The training wheels that served us on our bicycle when we were younger no longer serve us as an adult. We need to ride more free. We don't need those training wheels. And those things that were once keeping us safe, those things that once made it easier to ride the bike, safer to ride the bike, they actually inhibit us and hold us back from riding the bike fully, to our full potential. So there's elements that are within us, in our brains, in our left brain. For you, it'd be this, but this is my left side. So it's like something is happening in our ways of logic that's holding us back from reaching our potential. And we think we still need these training wheels. We think we still need this crutch, but the crutch is actually holding us back from running a marathon. And it's just like, once you let this crutch go and you realize you no longer need it, we can move forward. Now, pondering about this particular eclipse and these nodal placements, there's a lot of healers out there. There's a lot of teachers that think verbal communication is the way to heal something. Well, the astrology is suggesting something different. The astrology is saying it's not verbal. Why do we always think that things have to be verbal communication in order to heal something? And let's look at this communication as watering your garden. And it's extremely important to water your garden. However, too much water will drown your fruits, your vegetables, your flowers. Too much water, drowning them, is just as bad as dehydrating them in the desert and having not enough water. So it's a balance. With the South Node being in Virgo, dealing with communication and very precise communication, something for us to consider is, where is our communication killing or squashing or hindering or limiting our abilities to expand and to grow? The Egyptians used to look at symbols. When they wanted therapy, they would walk through these pillars, these columns, and they'd have different symbols. And people would sit and stare at these symbols, and they would have understanding. So there's something here with understanding. I'm going to come back to the chart so you can look at this while I'm chatting with you. There's something here that comes with understanding, okay? Now, Uranus is the ruling planet of Aquarius. Uranus is here in Taurus for the last time for another 80 years. And that will be moving forward here in 2026 in Gemini, creating a trine to Pluto. It's already creating the trine. It's just a little out. We want things to happen very fast, radically fast. Changing of our system. We want change. We want it now. Earth, Taurus, and Capricorn is very slow-moving Earth, my friends. Okay, so for some of these changes that we're implementing now, it takes time for them to reach the physical manifestation to where we're seeing the changes here in physical planet Earth, right? So this is conceptual ideas, the air signs, Aquarius, Gemini, Libra. These are non-physical. Here, this is not a water sign, although it's a water bearer. As my teacher Rick Levine said, Aquarius is the water in the air that allows electricity to flow. And I've always really appreciated that. I absolutely love Rick. Very grateful for him being a friend and mentor. But that saying, Aquarius is the water in the air that allows electricity to flow, because that water in the air connects all of the atmosphere, just as this connects all of humanity. All of us are being connected. All of us are being governed under the same sun. Doesn't matter where you live on the planet, what language you speak. We're all being governed under the same sun, the same, the same earth, the same planet. So breakthroughs in ideas, breakthroughs in self. What is holding you back from reaching your potential? And over here we have Venus and Mercury, the North Node, what you love, how you think. This is about possibilities. Over here, South Node saying, let go of what? This is how it is. This is how it was. This is how it's going to be. We don't really know what's coming. We don't know where we're going. We don't know what's around the bend. We don't know. And that's okay. It's okay to not know things. And it's okay to allow communication to not be the forefront. There are so many other aspects of healing. Let's jump back into that for a quick second, because there's so many people. I think there's quite a few people that watch this channel too that are like, literally healer people, and I love you. Thank you. How can we heal something without communication, and really like dive into that? Where is communication squashing the healing, and where is something else going to be more beneficial for you? And these are breakthroughs in radical ideas that are going to make these shifts happen. So maybe it's not communication, maybe it's going and getting an ice cream. Maybe it's not communication, maybe it's going bowling. Like, the communication can happen in all of these things, but maybe it's like, I just need to go do something fun. Maybe you just need to get out of your environment and go do something fun. Maybe doing something that you haven't done in a while, something that you haven't done before. This is the first eclipse of the year. This is unique energy because it's dealing with our brain, our left and right hemispheres of our brains, of possibilities and what could things be. But at the same time, we have to think in a place of possibility, but not be completely blown away by, how do you say? Like, we don't want to live with rose-tinted glasses on all the time. Like, that's not a healthy way to go through life, by thinking all these possibilities and I'm going to land on a cloud of pillows when I fall, and this over here, everything is just like, having a positive mindset is really good. There's wishful thinking, which is really positive, and not having a negative mindset, which is going to be our South Node in Virgo here. So having some sort of a probabilities and possibilities unfolding, and all of these things that could be, are good to focus our minds on right now, instead of this is how it is and I can't be happy. It's like, this is like a repeating theme that keeps coming up through the astrology. I can't be happy unless things are this way. And we have to allow that to let go. Life will never be as we want it to be. We're always at a place of arriving. And you know what I mean? We're always at this place of arriving. Nothing ever just settles in. There's always a next. There's always a next. There's always this tomorrow. There's always this new thing. So it's like, I'll be okay once this is done. It's like, well, yeah, but once that's done, then the next challenge is going to present itself. The next obstacle is going to present itself. The next hurdle will present itself. So if we're waiting to feel good about ourselves or our current situation until something happens, we're missing out on the living aspect of being in the now. Maybe that's part of what this Aquarian energy is asking us for. Aquarius used to be ruled by Saturn, and it's ruled after the invention of the Hubble telescope. When we found Uranus, it's now Uranus rules. So what are these different energies? Okay, let's come back here for a second. These are big ones. Between Capricorn and Pisces is huge. So Capricorn is going to be Saturn. This is going to be you, the governing laws and limits of the third dimension. Your physical body is Capricorn. This desk is Capricorn energy. The space is Capricorn energy. The limit of how much you can fit into a room, or how many straws can go on the camel's back. There is a limit, a maximum capacity to that weight. Now, Uranus here is the breaking point. Aquarius is the breaking point. And we say, oh, holy smokes, that was it. The 7,000 straws is as much as a camel can take on its back, right? And then it breaks. Or 506 pounds is as much as this desk is going to break, or can take before it breaks. Or this is how much I can take before I mentally break. We're dealing with our minds here. We're dealing with mental health. And depending on where this is in your chart, right? If you got anything going on here, if any of this is in your 12th house right now, you got a lot of mental energy going on. Right, there's an absolute ton going on in the 12th house here. If any of this is in your 12th house, there's a lot of energy that needs to be sorted. All right, so anyway, Capricorn is structure and order. And I'm me and you're you, and I have to lift the weights for me and you lift the weights for you. And over here, this is in my imagination, I can lift weights and I actually gain muscle mass. Over here is this possibility in this playground where we can meet each other on the astral field and all these possibilities of the non-physical. This is our dreams and maybe creativity and some music and things like that over here, but it's intangible. Yeah. So here, Capricorn, I am breathing. My lungs are full of breath. My lungs are full of my breath. But the same air that I'm breathing that consumes and fills my lungs is the same air that you're breathing. This is where Pisces is. We're all connected. So this is where Saturn and Aquarius and Neptune, or Capricorn and Aquarius and Pisces, are all connected with this individual, the breakthrough, and the we. So we're in the middle. We have this point of illumination is in the middle, somewhere in between my physical nature and my non-physical nature. There's this beautiful, playful area of electricity, right? The water in the air that allows electricity to flow. Well, we have Mars here too. So this is saying what? Go to new ground, discover new areas, discover these different places in between where your waking mind and your sleeping mind, right? So here's another way to look at this. Capricorn, this is your daily waking living life. And this is your dream space. So this could be alpha and beta brainwaves. Over here you could say is gamma and theta brainwaves. Okay, you're in meditation here. Well, right here, maybe this is delta. This is where we're slipping in between the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. So in between the conscious and subconscious mind is where we get work done that actually has an effect. So this is like listening to your self-help books or something like that while you're going to sleep. It's actually going to have an effect on you. So we're caught in between these ages. We are caught in between these ideas of the world ending and having faith that it's going to work out, having blind faith that it's just going to work out. Rome fell apart, and yet humanity still lives on. So maybe the whole world is Rome right now, and maybe everything is falling apart. Maybe it's not. That's not up for us to decide. I want to come back and say that it's not up for us to decide. If we wake up tomorrow and the whole world is falling apart, well, then we have to cross that bridge when we get to it. Living in our minds that the world is already over, that it's already ruined, that the best days are behind us. Like, this is part of where this new moon is like challenging us, and Uranian Aquarian energy can be challenging because it wants to shake the crap out of you. It wants to say like, oh my God, you're alive, you're living. Every day you open these eyes is a gift. You have hands and feet, you're mobile, and you get to taste food. It's like there's going to be a day where we're going to be fully ingrained into that Pisces world, where we're not going to have the physical bodies anymore, this Capricorn physical bodies, where we're going to break free from the mold of this body and be nothing but the non-physical. But we're not there now. Here, we're in the third dimension. Let's talk about that. Why all of a sudden do we skip 4D and we're in 5D? This is part of these breakthroughs, new beginnings. There's like an idea that I see artists putting out stuff And people talking about how they don't live in the 3D anymore, how they've ascended to the 4D or ascended to the 5D. No, you haven't. No, you have not. No, you have not. No one has ascended to the 5D. These are just wordplay to make ourselves feel better than other people. Oh, I am an ascended master and I live in the 17th dimension. No, I don't. No, you don't, and nobody else does. We all live in the third dimension. We all take craps, we all pee, we all stink when we sweat. We have to come back to reality to some degree. We can live in wishful thinking place, but we have to come back down to grounded reality. And maybe that's part of the breakthrough, is coming back down to grounded reality and be like, oh yeah, I'm a human, I'm a man, I'm a woman, I'm just a person. I'm just a person on this planet with 8 billion other people. Me being my own unique self is what makes me special. I don't have to pretend that I have to make up different language for me to fit into the world. Like, everybody's a unique, special snowflake. But it's like, we're not living in 5D. There's no ascending to the 5D. There's real spiritual practice, and then there's spiritual wordplay. I'm a fan of spiritual practice, breath work, sound baths, meditation, some plant medicine ceremonies, walks in nature, alone time. These are all wonderful practices, and none of them will put you into the 5D. It doesn't matter how many cups of ayahuasca you drink, how many tabs of LSD or bags of mushrooms you eat. Nothing will put you in the 5D. So we are in the third dimension, and we're all just trying to figure out life. We're all just trying to figure out life. We're trying to figure out what makes sense. Some of our elders pass down information, and we can take that information and we can absorb it, and we could say, okay, thank you. Or we can create our own traditions. We can create our own paths. This is how you smoke the pipe. This is how you work with tobacco. Maybe you need to find your own tradition on how to work with tobacco. Maybe you need to find your own tradition of how to do things. Now, there are certain things that are not up for interpretations. And we also have to figure that out. What can we let go of? What do we not need to debate? And what can we accept? Like, 90 degrees is a square, right? That's not up for a debate. So when we have individuals that are saying, oh, well, maybe it's like 48, or it's just like this kind of a thing is not up for a debate. And you can sit there and talk about it all day. Is one of those other things. It's like, where communication is just like, is this really helpful? Is this really helpful communication? Now, we've had Saturn in Pisces for 2.5 years, which has been a blessing, because we get our heads too far up our own butts. When there's too much Pisces energy with Neptune and Pisces for the past 16 years, we don't know what's real and what's not real anymore. We get very confused, and what's real is what you believe, what you tell yourself and what you believe. I post stuff like that on my social media quite often. You check it out on there, Aaron Eschenburg, whatever, you get it. Whatever we tell ourselves is what creates our reality. Okay, we have this breaking point, this lightning bolt coming through that's just like, stop. You are the creator of your own delusions. You're creating delusion for yourself, and you're creating an impossible puzzle to figure out that will never be fixed, you'll never see the full display of it. It's illusory, right? It's an illusion, is not real. So we have to come back down to grounded third dimension reality. We've got to get our minds right. So Saturn has been going through here, as Saturn is the ruling planet of Capricorn, saying, no, you're going too far out. You're going too far out, too far out, too far out, too far out. All right, Pisces is the far out, and it's just like Saturn is the border collie, and Pisces is kind of this, the Mary's flock of sheep that's just going so far away. Saturn's like, you got to reel it in. You got to get your mind straight. You got to come back down to grounded reality and figure out what reality is and what reality isn't. And this is where different practices are actually quite good, because some people are going to tell you reality is only what you see in front of your face, and some people are going to tell you reality when there is no reality without mind entering into it first. I'll be a person that will tell you something like that. And then there's, well, what is the mind telling us first? Something positive or something negative? Okay. Well, we'd rather focus on something positive, but is this positive thing a factual aspect of reality, or is it simply wishful thinking? Because if we're just living in constant wishful thinking and not in the reality, do you see? It's like this in itself is contradictory. There's no way about it. There's just no way about it. We're gonna find contradictions within ourselves until we just sit and sort it out in ourselves and say, okay, this is what makes sense for me, and this is how I have to go about it. And then we can find other people that makes sense for them as well. So for 16 years, we've had Neptune in Pisces. Neptune is the black hole. Pisces is the black hole, the abyss. And Neptune in Pisces is the expansion. Pisces in itself is creativity and beliefs. This is not about necessarily reality. This is whatever you believe is reality. You can believe you're, worthless. You can believe you're, valuable. You're valued. You can believe that people love you. You can believe that people hate you. I'm going to say that people love you. I love you. But we can think otherwise. And when we think otherwise, again, this is where we have to let go of certain aspects of dialogue and what we think is right or wrong in our minds. So Neptune going through here for the past 16 years. Now think about that, guys. 16 years. 16 years. That's a good chunk of a lot of people's lives. It's a good chunk of a lot of people's adult lives. 16 years that we have this outer planet, this abyss, black hole, abysmal, saying more expansion into nothing. Now, one of the aspects of that has been drug use and fentanyl and people escaping reality through drugs. There's been the equal and opposite, people using plant medicines and things to get back in touch with reality. Okay, but this is escapism and expansion, and this is the right brain. Pisces is our right brain, so Neptune is expansion of the right brain. Now, fear, anxiety, doubts, uncertainty, they do not live in your left brain. They do not live in your Virgo mind. Your Virgo mind says there's a thing. This is how I solve the thing. Let's do that. Well, there's a little bunch of fibers in your brain called the corpus callosum, and those fibers connect your left and right hemisphere to your brain. So your right brain says, how do I feel about this? Okay, so left brain, there's a dog that I don't know. Right brain, do I be afraid? Do I run? Well, logically, what's the scenario? There's a dog I don't know. I'm at a friend's place. Okay. We're safe here. Proceed with caution. All right. Similar scenario. Here's a dog I don't know. I'm in an alleyway walking down the street. Now, the possibility of fears and doubts gets heightened because this is an unfamiliar area, a dog you don't know. Maybe it's a stray dog. Maybe it's just a neighbor's dog. It's the friendliest dog in the world, but we don't know. So then our brains, our right hemisphere of our brains gets working and then starts amplifying the uncertainty and the doubt. Well, that dog could be rabid. The dog could be a stray. It could be, hungry. Who knows? It could attack me. It could all of these things. So then our logical mind stops firing properly. The neural net of our logical mind stops processing, and we just live over here in our right brain. So we're living in fear. We're living in anxiety. Now, I work in the media, and we've talked about this on the channel before. So if you're new, I work in the media for 19 years. I'm an audio engineer, and I work on everything from Hollywood movies to reality TV shows, House Hunters, things like that, to commercials and documentaries that you see on television. So I work in this area of media where, and I talk about this on the channel often, people in my industry generally don't care about the viewers. They care about the views, not about the viewer. Like, they don't care about your emotions. They care if you watch the content. And that's all they want, is for you to watch the content. And so when we have beware, your brain's going to go to this. Your brain is going to go out of its way to say, I want to know what to be aware of so that I can avoid the danger. And this is human programming. It's very natural. It's how our brains work. So people in the media know this. They want you to be scared. They want you to be uneasy. They want you to think the world is ending. They want you to think terrible things. They manipulate things awfully. Okay. We have to use discernment. Part of this 2.5 years, I'm looking back down at the chart here. Part of this 2.5 years of the North Node and South Node in Pisces is getting this right. And what do we believe? Do we just believe everything everybody tells us? And especially with AI right now, we have to use discernment, because AI is transforming technology and how that technology is connecting with society on an extremely fast pace. And we ourselves, where there's nothing here in our shadow, personally, we have to do our own due diligence to make sure that we individuals are not being just pulled into the societal concept of whatever's happening, right? We have to maintain our own individuality and use our own personal discernment. Now, I also am a big fan of like psychology and what is it? The Ash experiment. The Ash experiment, there was like, everybody's in on the experiment, and then one person would not be on the experiment. And then there's like 3 different things, like this, and this, 3 different size lines. And they say, okay, which one of these matches this one? And then the people in the experiment say that this line matches this box here. And you can tell that it doesn't. You know that these 2 match each other. However, when you're the last person in the study, just check it out. It's called the Ash experiment. And there's 4 or 5 people in front of this person that gets to it. When they all say something different, the odds of you or me or somebody stating the truthful answer when you've had a bunch of other people tell the wrong answer makes you feel strange, makes me feel strange. So what people do is they change their opinions, they change their minds, and they go with the flow. They go with the crowd because they don't want to be singled out. They don't want to be different. And it takes a lot of practice, a thick skin, a thick mentality to withstand going against the crowd. Because, anything right now, people will jump on you. I can't believe you think this way. I can't believe you feel this way. I can't believe. It's just like, something I say on all this channel all the time. We're all different colors of the rainbow. And red telling yellow how to be will never work. And that's what I think is very, it's all tying into this astrology right now, and using our own discernment to have our own personal breakthroughs and what we gravitate towards and what teachers we gravitate towards, because different people are going to share a different spectrum of their own color that they're emitting. I can only tell you astrology from my spectrum of color. There's going to be somebody else that has the source material is the same. The planets, the meanings behind that. However, how my brain interprets it, how this interprets this and then spits it back out is going to be for a certain amount of people. And then there's other people that aren't going to like the way that I talk about astrology. So there's this finding the right people in your community that you can excel with, finding the right people that add that electrical spark, right? So if we're water in the air and there's not an electrical spark between us, it's okay. I don't have to make fun of you. I don't have to say, what's wrong with you? There's no spark here. You don't have to make fun of me that there's no electrical spark. It's just about finding where we can connect with this spark. And is this connection? And that's what this new moon is. This is a connection and saying, look, this is an active new moon, meaning this 10 degrees conjunction to Mars here. Mars is all about action and moving forward. And this is air, so it's fast, so it's communicating with your people, finding your tribe, finding the people that you share similar communication, finding your tribe that you have similar paths. And maybe, right, so I work in media. I can do everything, but I'm the audio guy. So today I'm working on set. It's like there's a camera guy, there's a director and a producer, and everybody has their right field. And we're all working together collectively. So it's like, it's just that. It's like, maybe I'm the audio guy, but I got to find the right director and producer and camera person to work with. And so this is like a huge aspect of finding your tribe. And when you're finding your tribe, there's aspects of how your brains work. And are you firing your brains? The neurons of your brains, are they firing properly? Are they firing together correctly? I don't think that is I don't think I said that correctly. Are they firing together in a similar way? Are you juicing each other up? Are you gassing each other? Are you inflating each other? Are you adding to each other's, whatever it is that you're trying to create here? I feel like I've skipped a bit here talking about different things. We're talking about Neptune and Pisces moving out into Aries. 16 years of that has been a lot of confusion. Neptune moving into Aries is hopefully bringing clarity, and again, to self. And when we have this conjunction happening the same time as this eclipse, so this is aspects of yourself. Again, what we were kind of talking about before is our own personal discernment, not to be fooled by the media, not to be fooled by others. And it doesn't matter. Like, here's some honesty. Like, Pisces is forgiveness. And Saturn and Neptune are coming from this place of forgiveness. We'll just say that. Forgiveness, acceptance, belief, faith. And it's like, I don't know, a baptism or something. It's like these two are coming in here together as well. It's like, where have you been so hard on yourself? Where have we been not kind, communicating with ourselves verbally out loud, or just in our minds, in our thoughts? Are we saying not kind things to ourselves? All right. This is like, hey, it doesn't matter what you did before. It doesn't matter if that was yesterday. Maybe you did the worst thing in the world yesterday. Okay. You've learned from it. You're learning from it. Forgive yourself. Be kind to yourself. Don't shame yourself. If it didn't work out with a certain group of people, if it didn't work out with a certain individual relationship, don't shame yourself. Don't be mad at yourself for it. There's something divine happening that brings people together and brings people apart. And as long as we're allowing our minds to have the ability to mold, to transform, to change, to flow, like the water right now, North Node in watery Pisces, allowing our minds to flow as we learn new things. And learning new things is forgiveness to ourselves. So we've just had Saturn, the laws of the universe, and Neptune, the expansion of the universe, and possibilities beyond the physical dimension. I mean, we're literally living in a world right now that people 100 years ago didn't think was a possibility. I mean, like this little device right here, people 100 years ago, that was not even a possibility. It wasn't even a concept in their minds. But to us, it's our everyday. Do you see how this is kind of all tying in together now? So it's like, anyway, we have this clearing of self. Neptune and Saturn coming into Aries. Aries is about self. And it's like, well, who are you? Who do you want to be? Allow yourself to be that. Allow yourself to become that. And becoming, if this was Earth, it's very slow. But this is in fire. There's fire and air. And there's air. There's Pluto having this sextile here. Pluto transformation. Let's light this mother up, right? This is like, let's go fast. Let's heal. You want to heal yourself? Forgive yourself. And if you really believe it, then it's done. Right? Then it's done. You want to heal your mom? You want to heal your dad? Do it. You want to forgive your mom? You want to forgive your dad? Just do it. And it's done. Just don't hold on to it anymore. Don't hold on to it. Let it flow in the river. And now that it's water under the bridge. It's just like whatever resentments, whatever things we're holding on to for others that's holding us back. This is part of those crutches that we're talking about. Part of those the safety wheels on the bicycle, right? So it's like, alleviate them. We don't need them anymore. We don't need this resentment. We don't need the anger we're holding on to the other party. Allow ourselves to free our minds, of the world ending, of all of these things going wrong, of I can only find peace and joy if this happens the way that I want it to happen to. Get out of that delusion. Then now let's look here. We also have this absolutely beautiful septile septile from the south node to Jupiter in Cancer. This is about our emotions, and Uranus breakthroughs in Taurus. We can look at this as personal material possessions, our emotions. This is how we're giving back to the world. How are we giving back to the world with our own emotions? How are we using what we care about to give back in a healthy way to create something foundational, to create something? And maybe it's different, right? With Uranus here, meaning how people are able to impact the world or impact people nowadays with technology is different than it used to be. Let me an example with that. Back in the day, maybe if I was to be a traveling juggler or one-man band or something like that, and that's extremely physical, for me to do something what I love, Jupiter in Cancer, something that's very passionate for me, Jupiter in Cancer, and expand that of which I love, and then offer, hey, I really love juggling and being like a clown or something goofy, or playing songs and making music. So if I want to offer this to people, how do I do that? I have to get in the vehicle, and I have to go bar to bar or theater to theater or city to city and go on a tour. Well, now with technology the way it is, with the world the way it is, I can juggle right here. I can play my song right here. And instead of one night reaching hundreds or thousands of people, I can put out one message here and reach hundreds or thousands or millions of people, depending on how many people click that thing. And if you do like this, go ahead, give it a like, give it a share, whatever, do that stuff. I kind of hate saying that stuff sometimes, but it helps people and it helps us. I'm a small channel growing always. So the way that we can impact the world might be different now than it was in the past. The way that we can impact the world 100% is different now than it was in the past. So again, it's like breaking of these traditions, like what our parents might have done, and this was what worked for them, or this is what was tried and true back in the day. We're in a new age. We're in this whole new possibility where those old things can be taken into consideration, but they almost don't work the same way anymore. So then we have to find new ways of going about it. So what new ways are you coming up with to impact people that are sharing what you love? Being the caregiver back to humanity. Like, everybody's a caregiver back to humanity. The water doesn't drink itself, the sun doesn't shine for itself. So just like you and I, we have an offering that we need to offer to humanity, and to not be conditional with that offering is another aspect between the South Node and Virgo. Conditional, meaning the flower will bloom and the flower will die. The fruit will bloom and then the fruit will die. The sun is not conditional. Pisces is not conditional. Pisces energy is limitless love. So this is saying, like, don't be conditional with your offerings. What you're trying to offer, make sure that you know how to do it, and you're tapped into the well where you can continue to offer it more and more and more, without being drained. Like a person that knows Reiki. And Reiki is I became a Reiki master some years ago. I got hit by a drunk driver, turned 21. I learned Reiki. And it's very simple. You stub your toe, you put your hand on it, your palm goes on it. You bump your head, you put your hand on it. It's like, no one has to teach you that. It's something that's like ingrained into people. You do it. But then you can learn how to use that energy. You can learn how to work with that energy more that's coming out of your palms, and then we can give it to other people. And when we do it right, we're just a fountain. We're the hose. The hose doesn't drain itself by the water running through it. So just by doing Reiki, I'm not going to be drained by using the energy to flow through me. I'm just a conduit. The energy just comes through my hands, right? So if I'm getting drained, I'm doing something wrong. So if we're being drained by giving back to society, if we're being drained by giving back, it's like learning our limits, learning our own personal breaking points. Yeah. So learning your own personal breaking points, making the sextile here to Saturn and Neptune. Because right, if we don't learn our own personal breaking points, it will destroy what we love. Yeah, well, that's a good one. That's a powerful one. All right, friends. I'm going to come back. I want to do a little bit more about this later, but I think I want to wrap it up here. You know, the new moon here, new beginnings. This is an eclipse. This is a very interesting eclipse. There's a lot of energy with this. There's a lot of kind of scattered energy with this. It's not just focused on one thing. Eclipses as in general, there's a lot of energy. Like I said, there's 6 different elements that we're dealing with on a normal eclipse. With this, we have 8 because this is outside of in a different sign. But this deals with our minds. This is dealing with action. This is kind of with our minds as well. Air signs deal with more with our mind and communication. And again, this is a huge aspect of seeking your community and finding the right people that work with you, that you can see forming long-term, long-standing relationships with, that what you're doing and building together is going to shake stuff. Right? Whoever you're finding right now, whoever you're coming into contact with, and whoever you're manifesting in your life that has their minds right, if their minds aren't in the same place as you, you're going to repel them. They'll repel you extremely quickly. So it's like the people that you have your minds in the right spot and you're all on the same path, the work that you're going to be doing together is that work that's going to be doing huge breakthroughs on society that takes a little bit longer to do. So you won't find these immediate, not immediate things, but it's coming. It's coming. So just keep putting the work in, right? Have faith and unconditional love. I think that's it. If you guys ever have any questions, always feel free to reach out. Feel free to comment anything down below. I'm happy to answer anything. Otherwise, I love you. I wish you enough, and I'll talk to you soon.